You are looking at Google Calendar on a desktop. This is being run in a browser. As you can see, here's the address right up here, calendar.google.com, and you would log into your account, which is up in the top right over here, to see your Google Calendar. What I have done is added in races, 4 different calendars for 4 different counties, which you can see listed on the left here. We got Brooklyn, Nassau, Queens, and Suffolk. Now, this column on the left and the calendar at the top of it is actually your navigation calendar, how you're going to be moving around in the calendar shown in the main part of the screen. I'm in June right now. I'm in a monthly view. All right. If I want to change this view to a daily view, I come up here to the top right, open the drop down box, and let's pick a weekly view. All right. Now if you notice in the navigation calendar, we have the 25th highlighted, and I'm showing the week of the 25th. If I click on the 11 here on the left, I'm now seeing the week of the 11th. So the way I move around in my main calendar is by using the navigation calendar on the left. If I'd like to, I can click from the 19th, drag it to the 21st, and now I have a 3-day view in my main calendar. Very clever of Google. They got some great navigation here. If I now click on the 26th, it gives me a 3-day view starting on the 26th. If I click again on the 26th, it drops me to the 1-day view. I'm going to click on the 28th, and now I have a 1-day view of the 28th where I do have races listed. If we look at the top right box, also the mode box here, it automatically switched me to day when I clicked on 1 day. Now here are the choices in the flyout box, and they have shortcut keys: D for day, week for week, W for week, M for month, etc. If I click on the month, I'm in the monthly view. I'm now going to hit the W on my keyboard to switch to the weekly view. And you'll notice what week was selected. Here's my 28th highlighted in this navigation calendar. If I now click on the 30th here, I see the week of the 30th. So it's really giving me a very clear and cut way of jumping around. I also like, if I hit Y on my keyboard, I go to the year view, and I can quickly jump to December, just double click on a date, and I just went to my December 17th weekly view. I can hit the M on my keyboard, and now I'm in the December monthly view. Right. Up here on the top left side, I see today. So if I just want to hit today, I'm jumping to today. If you look at my navigation calendar, the 29th is highlighted with a dark blue, indicating today's date, and it's located here. I also set my settings so that races that are previous to today's date are showed with a little fading or opacity, where ones that are after are showed with the true colors. And I select my colors from this menu on the left, where if I go into Races Brooklyn, click on the 3 dots over here, I got color selection. So you pick whatever you want to highlight these races. All right. Oops, clicked on a box. Let's say if I wanted to enter my own event. Now if I click on the Races Brooklyn, I just turned it off and it's no longer being shown. I just turned off Queens. So now I'm just looking at Nassau and Suffolk. Has quite a bit of capability. I'm just going to click top right of May and switch over to June. All right, I can turn my Races Brooklyn back on, my Races Queens back on. If you notice here, 3 more. If I click on that, there were more races in this monthly view that weren't being shown. I'm going to click on one. Let's go to this Kids Triathlon. How about this Long Beach Parks? And I get a flyout menu that opens up with much more information on the race. You see, here's the title that was being shown in this calendar monthly view. I have a location field here. I can actually click on it and bring up a map. I got my status, canceled. My race website, if I click on that, Well, it's opening up another window with information about that race on the website. I'm going to close that new tab. All right, I got my description, all right, pretty long, and then some other information. I can just close this with the X here, all right, which is pretty nifty. If I want to see more of this title, well, why don't we, let's say we want to go and see what's happening on the 13th with this 3 more, but let me just drag here from the 13th and the 14th, get a 2-day view, and I see a little bit more information in the event title than in that monthly or weekly view. All right. Again, I can just click on my Mighty Montauk Triathlon and my flyout box opens up. Here you can see I show 2 different race websites. We typically put the most important website into the first one, race website, and then if we find the second, we'll put it into race website 2. All right. But you can feel free to click on one, the other, both, however you want. All right, I'm going to click the X. Now I want to show you something really clever here, is that if you look at my calendars on the left, I have one here called My Favorites. Now that was pretty easy. I added my own, and all I have to do is click on the plus down here. All right, create a new calendar, ask for a name. Let's call it My Second Favorites. All right, create calendar. Arrow up in the top left to go back, and now you look, my second favorite. Right, so you can create your own calendars here, and what I intend to do is take my favorites, and when I see races here that I like, I'm going to add them into my favorites calendar, and this way I can view that just with my own personal calendar, and I can also share that my favorites with friends very easily. All right. The way we do this now is I'm going to take this Montauk race, click on it. If you notice up here we have 3 little dots in this menu box, options. Click on it. You'll see copy to my second favorite, copy to my favorites. Activate that. Gives me a chance now to modify some of it. And what I like to do here is all of the races were brought in as a 1-day event, all day. I'm going to turn that off. And I'm set to a 10 a.m. default, and I'm just going to click save now. If you notice, this Mighty Montauk Triathlon was now copied to 10 a.m., but it's actually in a different calendar, my favorites. If I turn my favorites off, you can see it disappears. Turn my favorites back on, and it's showing. If I don't like 10 a.m., it's very simple. Just drag it to 9 a.m. Drag the bottom down because, let's say it's going to end at 1. Oops, little funky mouse here. So, all right, by accident I added to hit another title. Just that off. What happens when you click in an empty box like here, it automatically asks you to add something. If I click the X, or if I just click in another box, it'll disappear, and I didn't actually add a race. All right, so here's a way I can take this Orange Theory Fitness, open it up, click the 3 dots, add to my favorites, cancel the all day, hit save, and here's my Orange Theory Fitness, drag it down, and I have it. I can change the color of my favorites if I want to. Here's my personal calendar, LIRC. If I turned it on, it would mix in any of my personal items that are on that day also. All right. If I go back to my favorites, click on the 3 dots, settings and sharing, all right, I can very easily have all different share with specific people. I could just add a person, put their email in, and send them my calendar. All right. Very, very simple and intuitive the way most of this works here. All right, so I'm going to go back to a monthly view, hit M on the keyboard, and it gives you a pretty basic understanding of navigating in here. One thing you may want to do is change some of the settings in your calendar, and if you go up here to the top right, click on the settings menu, settings. There are a few things that I did on mine. It's pretty much default, but When you get down here, view options, show weekends, show week numbers. You can go through this, but start week. I like starting it on Monday. Just click open here. You got a choice. All right? Picking Monday shows Saturday and Sunday all the way to the right. Set the custom view. You have a choice. I set it for 3 days, but it really isn't that important because you can actually, as I showed you, just drag across multiple days in your navigation calendar. But don't hesitate to come into the settings menu and change some things around. Of course, we can search. All right. What I like to do, this is a cute view though. I like open up my views here in the schedule view. A shows me a one-line view of all the races now. And you can see I'm starting on the June 13th, and that's because again I have it selected here on the left. Now if I click my search bar, and I can put in some search terms here, like I think I'm going to search for pride. I can see it in one word there, P-R-I-D-E. All right, hit the enter, and you can see I actually showed 2 races which have the word pride in them on here. If I want to search for something else, let's search for mighty. So I know we got these, and I hit the enter key. Here's all my races that have the word mighty in them. Mighty Hamptons, Mighty Montauk Triathlon, Mini Mighty Man. Right? So it's pretty powerful. Doesn't actually allow me to, well, let me just see. I got this even flyout menu on it. Oh, so here I was actually filling in the what. You can go through all these options where you can pick that, who, if there was organizer. All right. Keywords not contained in the event, that can omit some things. So you have a pretty powerful search feature in this Google Calendar also. To get out of the search, you can see this arrow to the left. Click on it, and I'm back to my standard views. Hit M on the keyboard, which I just did, and I'm back to my monthly view. I really like this Google Calendar. You know, I've been playing around with the Outlook calendar, the Google Calendar, and the Apple Calendar, and I definitely like the features of the Google Calendar the best. But that's up to you. And if you're an Apple user, you can also run the Apple Calendar in a browser on your Mac, on your tablet. Right? You can also install the Google app, which does look different than this browser mode. Right? But you can install that app either on your Android phone or on your Apple phone to view the Google Calendars. And everything is synced together. Remember, when you import these different calendar races, you only have to do it once. As we make changes to the races, corrections, additions, things like that, you're going to find that they appear automatically on your Google Calendar. So you don't have to go through that adding races more than one time. I hope you learned something from here, and see you at the races.